Apart from the agency functions, we have seen the first function we have seen is the primary function, which is accepting of deposit and granting of loans. So that is the primary function of a bank. Then the next major function of bank is agent. Bank acts as an agent on behalf of its customer. We have seen various agency functions like remittance, etc. Now we are going to see the third major category of functions that is being performed by banks. It is called utility functions. Banks provide certain facilities, certain conveniences to the customers, certain utilities to the customers, because the customers will be very happy to receive them, and the customer will be it will be very useful for the customer. One of the most useful services provided by a bank, which is a utility function for a bank, is providing safety lockers. Under the safety lockers, the position of a bank is that of a lessor, and the position of the customer is that of lessee. What the bank does is, it buys big safety locker units in which there will be 200 to 300 locker units. There will be a huge locker unit running from say 3 feet to 7 feet height, in which more than 300 or 400 small pigeon holes will be there. It will be 1.5 feet to 2 feet depth, which will be 4 inches by 4 inches or 8 inches by 8 inches. Various size lockers will be available. All the lockers will have 3 keyholes. Suppose this is the unit, locker unit. Various lockers will be there like this. Bottom will be bigger ones, then it will be slightly smaller. Then afterwards it will all be small. Each pigeonhole, this will be 4 inches by 4 inches. This will be 1 feet by 1 feet. This will be 1 feet by 1.5 feet, like that. Each will be, the depth will be for 1.5 feet, something or 1.5 feet or 2 feet. So each locker unit will have 3 keyholes. One of the keyhole is a dummy keyhole. So there will be, each locker unit will be having, for all this entire locker, there will be one master key, which will be to the bank or bank manager or bank officer. And each locker will be having an individual key, that is called customer key. Please note, there is no duplicate for customer key. Only one key, and that key is customer key, and there is no duplicate. Only one key is created. And suppose this is a dummy keyhole. This is master key. First master key. Suppose you want to operate a locker, what you will do? You have to go, then you have to sign the locker register, evidencing that you are opening the locker for today, and then you will have to go to the locker room where this locker unit is situated. Suppose this lock is given to you, this locker unit is given to you. Then you go, a bank officer will come with the master key. He will insert this in the master key hole and open it. You cannot open the lock with the master key. Then customer has to insert his key, customer key, and he has to open it. When both keys are opened, then the locker slightly you can open. What the bank officer will do? The bank officer will not wait till you open. Once he knows that your key is operated and the he is able to open halfway when it is opened, the bank officer will leave the place, because he doesn't want to be a party of what you keep inside and what you take it outside. As far as the bank is concerned, the bank's position is, bank is leasing this space of 4 inches by 4 inches by 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet or 2 feet by 2 feet, as the case may be. as a lessor, what you keep inside is your business. Bank is not interested to know it. Bank is not a party to it. So you open the lock and then keep whatever you want to keep it, and then you lock. Once you lock it, for locking master key is not required. Once you lock it, you cannot, no customer cannot open individually. Master key cannot open any lock individually. So first the procedure is, first you have to apply the master key, open half. Afterwards customer key has to be opened and full. After it is opened, master key will be removed and the officer will leave the place. The customer will be totally responsible for what he is keeping inside or what it is he taking outside. And then after he closes, he will come out and record the time of his exit in the locker register and then go away. So he can keep whatever he wants. This is a very good facility being given by banks to their customers, because nowadays people are afraid of keeping jewels and valuables in their home, because people, thieves and dacoits can come and take that anytime, and it may be lost, it may be stolen, it may be otherwise misused. So for safety, they go and hire a safe deposit locker and keep the valuables. Some important documents in the house you can keep. Now, because these lockers in some of the cities, they became very scarce. Lockers were not available. Banks started insisting on fixed deposit. Suppose you are in a city like Bombay, where space is very scarce and where lockers are very scarce. The bank will ask you to open minimum deposit of 5 lakhs. Unless you open fixed deposit of 5 lakhs, I will not give you the lockers. So customers, they used to insist on some 5 lakhs the fixed deposit being opened, then only locker can be given. The Reserve Bank of India has clearly given guidelines. This is coming under restrictive trade practices, and a bank should not insist on restrictive trade practice of opening 5 lakhs of deposit. You cannot insist on a fixed deposit for opening of a locker. You can ask for locker advance, you can ask for payment of locker rent in advance, but you cannot ask for a fixed deposit of 5 lakhs. This rent for this ranges from 1,000 rupees per year to 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, depending upon the size of the locker. Similarly, some amount is also taken as an advance. There is also a 3 times the rent or 5 times the rent, depending upon the bank to bank. So when some banks insisted on paying, insisted on fixed deposit of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs and all, Reserve Bank has very clearly frowned upon this practice and told the banks to desist from doing it because it is a restrictive trade practice. But however, Reserve Bank has said that you can ask for a fixed deposit to cover 3 years rent and charges of breaking open. Why these charges of breaking open? Because I have been a branch manager for several decades. The biggest problem is some customers, because the fee, it's only very small, 1,000 rupees per locker, and all that amount they keep with the bank is some 3,000, 4,000 rupees. And they get a transfer, they will take the customer's key, they won't close the locker account, they will be transferred. Suppose he is in Mumbai, he will be transferred to, let us say, Nagpur, or let us say a far off place like Guwahati. He will go to Guwahati, taking the locker key with himself, because he has no stake. After all, 2,000, 3,000. He may also think, if I come back, I may not get the locker again, so let it be here. I will come back and then pay whatever is the money and then operate the locker. Whatever may be the motive of the customer, he simply leaves. There is no operation in the account. And the bank cannot open the locker because it has got only one key. And with that key, you cannot open the account. And there is then what to do? And he will not pay rent also. We don't know, account fellow becomes untraceable. We don't know that he has gone to Guwahati. Where he will search for? I know officers running from pillar to post searching for locker deposits, locker deposit account holders. I have seen officers from morning to evening running from pillar to post searching for where is the locker deposit customer. Because somebody will leave without trace. Then in such a case, what to do? Then you will have to break open. There is a big long procedure for breaking open of a locker deposit. Locker. You have to have two independent witnesses. Then you will have to tell the manufacturing company, Godrej or some other manufacturing company who manufactured the lockers, their expert will come with all the tools. Then you have to have two independent witnesses, two bank officers. In their presence, it has to be broken open. And then after that, a big list must be taken and it must be individually signed by all the people, including the bank manager and those two independent witnesses. That is a very big Jamila. So, who will bear the cost? For that only Reserve Bank of India has said you can cover 3 years rent and all the charges for breaking open must be taken in advance. Then another development in this is that in some of the lockers, sometimes undesirable contents are kept because bank is not a party for what is happening, what you are keeping inside the locker and taking out, it's your business. Bank is only lending the space, is a lessor. He lend the space, what you keep inside is your business. Bank is not a party to what you keep and what you take out. And therefore, some undesirable elements have peeked in, and what they have done is they have kept explosives and weapons in some of the lockers. Some of the lockers were found to have explosives and weapons. And the Reserve Bank of India was shocked by this finding, and they have said now that you should do KYC properly for all locker units. Because the problem is bank is not a party to what is being kept inside. Another one funny incident I can tell you. There was one customer in one bank. I won't tell the name of the bank or the place, but this is an actual incident. This fellow had a fight with the branch manager. So to take a revenge on the branch manager, what he did was he purchased fish, 1 kilo of fish, kept it in the locker, locked it and went away. For 1 week he was not to be traced. Nobody knows. He went to such a place not to be traced. So after 2 days it started stinking. The whole branch is stinking. And everybody is searching for this fellow. Finally this fellow returned after 10 days and then cleared the contents of this locker. So the problem with faced by the bank is not party to what is being kept inside the locker. And therefore banks have to be doubly sure in selecting only responsible and good customers before lockers are given. Because once a locker is given, we don't know what is being kept inside. Even though it is a very important utility, banks have to be very careful in selecting the safety locker customers. And another development is, like deposit, nomination facility is also allowed in locker. And only for locker you can have 2 nominees. Suppose you have joint accounts. For a joint account there can be only 1 nominee. You cannot have 2 nominees for a joint account. On the other hand, if there is a joint locker operation, the rules permit that you can have 2 nominees for a locker. And banks have to constantly keep in touch with the locker customer. They have to verify how long, frequently, periodically the lockers must be operated. Suppose a locker is not at all operated for 1 year or something like that, the bank must find out such customers and immediately contact them so that the lockers become functional again. So safety locker is a very useful utility function provided by the banks to its customers, and safety locker is a utility function provided by the bank.